The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Quirky Dog Podcast, inspired by some of the quirkiest dogs you can ever imagine, and the owners who love them. This podcast is brought to you by the quirky couple themselves, Scott and Jess Williams. Their aim is to educate and entertain. Here's Scott and Jess.
Hello, hello, hello. Okay, we've done a whole other year of podcasts. We're closing up 2023 with Dog of the Year. And this year, I'm super, super proud to announce that we have Harper Justice, who is an 8-year-old junior handler. That's like so touching at my heartstrings. And her 5-year-old Australian Shepherd T as Dog of the Year. But first, before we get into our interview with them, we're going to start with the quirky tip of the day. All right, my quirky tip, you guys, is to support Team Harper and to support junior handlers. There'll be a link in the podcast description. They have these awesome shirts. They have t-shirts and hoodies. They come in a bunch of different colors. I'm going to be ordering like crazy after that we're done filming. So check those out. If you want to support Team Harper or if you want to support junior handlers, which is a very important thing to do in our dog world these days, please check out the shirts in the link description. So you guys, without further ado, welcome. T is with you. Look at all these ribbons. It's so good to have you on.
Hello.
Hey.
So Harper, when did you get started with dogs?
When I was 3.
3 years old?
Yes.
So that picture where she is wearing the yellow dress, how old is she there?
That was her first show ever.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we have to show that. Chrissy, you got to pull up picture 6. That is the cutest thing ever when you were doing your grandma's dog, T, and you have that little yellow dress on. So she's
Very
like
cool.
3 there.
She's 3. And so that she has the rainbow ribbon in that picture.
Yeah.
And that's actually the ribbon that the best junior handler got out of the competitive class. It was a 16-year-old girl, and she gave that ribbon to Harper as a present for her first ever show.
Oh
and
my
Harper
gosh.
loved that ribbon and has it to this day.
That is so cool. That is awesome. So that's Frankie, and you started conformation with Frankie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Frankie is your grandma's dog, is that right? Am I remembering this correctly?
Yes.
Okay, so Frankie is obviously a tri-colored Aussie. How long did you show Frankie before you started showing other dogs?
Until last year.
Until last year?
Okay, and then T came into your life kind of recently, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and how did that happen? How long have you guys been competing?
Past year?
Yeah, and you guys do a great job. I want to make a note here that, like, you're not competing just against other kids, right? Like, let people know. I mean, there's a lot of adults out there. True?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you normally the youngest person competing when you're at a show?
Maybe.
Yeah, one of a few, I assume, for conformation. All right, so tell me in a nutshell, you don't have to get super specific, but tell me kind of what conformation is for you, what it looks like what does it mean to you? Kind of just, it doesn't have to be super super intense and super scientific, but like, what do you think of when you think of conformation? If you explain it to your friends, what would you say it's like?
Fun.
It's what?
What do you do when you do confirmation? Do you show your dog to the judge?
Yeah.
Tell her.
You run around.
Show her
You run
to the
around.
judge.
You run around the ring.
Go around the ring and answer questions, right?
Yep.
So, what kind of
Sure.
questions does the judge ask you normally?
How old is your dog? What's your dog's name?
Okay, and what does she do? Because the judge comes over and like looks at the dog. So what kind of things is the judge looking for in conformation when she comes over and checks T or whatever dog you're handling out?
What does the dog judge touch?
It's back.
Mm-hmm.
The back.
Yep, and she looks in his mouth sometimes, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then she feels in the back, make sure that he's all ready to rock. So let's show that video real quick, Chrissy, because some of our listeners and viewers may not even know what conformation is, or they may just think of this one movie called Best in Show. So I just want to show a quick video of you guys actually doing conformation at a show so people kind of get a general idea of what it looks like, okay? All right, we're going to do that super quick. So just for the people that didn't understand what it looked like, I just wanted them to see.
Or maybe people who are listening and not watching.
Yeah. So basically, you run around the ring, the judge is looking at the dog, and then the judge releases you to watch the dog gate again. Is that kind of how it works?
Yes.
Okay. And is that the whole program? Like, was that pretty much your whole shot out there, what was shown in that video? I know you didn't see the whole thing, but it's like a minute to a minute and a half. Is that pretty much your whole go?
Yep.
Okay. So do you get nervous when that's happening, or how do you feel during the whole thing?
Okay.
Well, you look great.
Yeah, yeah, and the dog moves.
Good movement, good movement.
The dog moves lovely. And I guess that's part of conformation that some people don't realize is you have to move a certain way to make the dogs move a certain way. And you handle a lot of people's dogs. You don't just handle T. I mean, you've handled a lot of dogs in the ring at this point. So do you change the way you move based on the dog you're handling?
Yes.
Okay. And are you just really able to like run and get the dog trotting properly? Do you focus on that, with practice dates before? How do you do it when it's not your dog and it's somebody else's dog? How do you practice?
I practice by letting them tell me how fast I have to run to show the dog.
Okay. So sometimes, depending on how the dog gates, you might have to increase your speed to make the dog look how it should.
Yes.
And then when you're having the judge inspect the dog and stuff, do you have a cookie there? Like, how do you get the dog to stabilize itself when it's stacked, when the judge is checking the dog out?
I use a treat sometimes.
Okay. And then the judge just does what they need to do. They release you to run and everything else. So T is super well behaved in the ring. I assume sometimes the dogs are a little rambunctious, right? I mean, like some dogs are a little bit crazy in the ring, right?
Have you ever handled a crazy dog?
Have you ever all right, you handle dogs that are a little bit crazier than T. So does that get stressful for you? I mean, does it get hard when the dog is really excited?
Yes.
But T, he's a good boy. So they had some pretty big accomplishments this year, Taylor, if you could, and I don't think I even officially introduced Harper's mom. I'm sorry, this is also Taylor Justice sitting here. Taylor, T, and Harper, but Harper was the one I really wanted to focus on here with T. What types of stuff did they accomplish this year? Because I wrote you months ago and said, hey, I want to run T as Dog of the Year. I love what they're doing. I just think this is a really good way to go for the Dog of the Year. So can you talk about some of their accomplishments this year?
Yeah, so Harper's a little too young for the competitive class for AKC junior handling, so she shows in their Pee Wee program, which is non-competitive. So instead, we kind of found a loophole, and she shows, like you said, against the adults, and she shows in the breed ring. She has gotten 3 group 3s, owner handler, herding group 3. So Harper fully owns T with his co-owners. I don't own him, it's her dog. She's gotten a group 2nd, and she's won an owner handler herding group. And they are halfway to their grand champion in AKC, and she made the first cut at our national specialty for best of breed, which is a really big deal.
That's amazing. Yeah, I just got chills when you said that. So for the conformation people who are familiar with this sport, I mean, we're talking about some pretty big accomplishments and some pretty big credentials. Are the people that you compete with, the adults, are they pretty friendly normally?
Yes.
Yeah. And does everyone just love you? Are you just everyone's favorite when you come to a show? Does everyone get excited because Harper's there? Probably.
Nope.
Yes. She does not understand the full capacity of how much support she has.
Nobody's trying to trip you or anything at this point.
Scott, stop it.
Not anymore.
Yeah. And the judges, how are they with you? Are they pretty supportive?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to show the quick picture here. Number 2, Chrissy, because your mom sent me this cute picture where the judge is actually like high-fiving you after a show and everything else. But I mean, this is the big leagues. You're competing against adults. You're qualifying for, different levels of competition that very well-bred dogs through all parts of the country, want to attain. So this is really exciting. This is some big stuff. Do you get nervous when it's a bigger event or something like that, or does that change?
It's a big event.
Yeah, you get nervous for a big event. And those, it depends. I used to compete at the regionals in Frisbee, and I would always get very nervous when I was young, too. Because that's also what's cool to me is I started in dogs when I was super young, too. And you have like a 5-year history now of doing dog sports, which is totally awesome. Like you're becoming a veteran pretty early here.
Yeah, Harper's got you beat, I think, as far as starting.
Well, I know. I didn't start when I was 3. I was just playing with puppies then. So I want to talk a little bit about what you do beyond conformation, too, because you've been competing in a lot of dog sports with, various dogs. So I think you do some dock diving. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. And then what else? Do you do anything else?
Frisbee.
I play Frisbee.
Oh, you do? Oh, you're really pulling at my heartstrings now. And I saw that you even cleaned up the discs for the Purina Incredible Dog Challenge. You ran out and helped all the competitors this year. Did you do? Yeah, you did a very good job at that. You guys live pretty close to Purina Farms. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's kind of a nice venue to be able to go and do dog sports and dog shows and everything else all the time. So between disc and conformation and dock diving, what do you like most? And you can be honest.
Showing.
Showing? You really like showing most? Yeah. Do you like the dressing up part and all of it, or what's your favorite part of it?
My favorite part is dressing up because there's certain outfits I'm allowed to wear.
Yeah. Well, you look very, very cute in those outfits, and it's very fun to watch you run around the ring. And your movement is very good. So do you go to classes for conformation? How did you learn how to become a handler?
Tell me about your classes, Christy.
I go to my class, Christie's, and she sometimes, when my dog T's not there, I use her dogs.
And what kind of dogs does she have?
Vizslas.
Vizslas are not easy dogs to deal with.
What?
So how often do you go to Christy's class? Once a week?
Weekly. We go weekly.
Weekly. Okay. So that's is that pretty much where you learned to do what you do in the ring?
Yes.
Okay. And as far as conformation goes, have you guys traveled much yet for it, or you mostly are showing locally?
What?
Mostly at Purina.
Yeah. It's a great venue. You really, you approximated yourself very closely to that situation. But even that building alone, I mean, they've always been hosting big events in Missouri, but it's kind of an intimidating venue. I mean, it's really big, and it's quite a large venue to show at. So how many times a year would you say roughly you compete at that venue in Purina?
Probably every other weekend we're over at Purina.
You are a busy little bee.
Yeah, it's a lot of good experience. I know I don't have any experience in the show ring, but
if you couldn't tell.
I know that a lot of people do not show their own dogs. They have a professional handler show their dog because the handler can make the dog look good. And if you go around there and you're not walking at going at the right gait or whatever, it's not going to help the dog, So you're getting some good experience, and you're going to have people wanting you to show all their dogs for them.
Especially since you like dressing up. It's perfect.
Yeah.
How many dogs total would you say roughly that you've handled in a competitive setting at this point? 20 is a lot of dogs. That's amazing. So since you were 3 until now you turned 8 kind of recently, you've mostly been doing conformation. What else did you do this year in dock diving? Because I knew that you did some stuff that was kind of out of the ordinary this year, and you and your mom can explain that to me. I don't keep up with anything. I just see little things come up on Facebook, and then I'm like, oh, good, more things that Harper can tell us about.
So Harper competed at the North Central Regional for NAD. They don't place the juniors at that competition. They just get an invite to nationals. And out of 30 junior handlers, Harper placed 8th with Brayburn, one of our other Aussies. And she was the youngest competitor in the junior handler division.
That's amazing. That's awesome. So did you get nervous at that event as well? Or dock diving is a little more laid back?
A little bit nervous.
A little bit, yeah. Well, I don't think you have anything to be nervous about. I think you show the dogs lovely, and you're doing just great stuff out there. And the ribbons and everything don't matter as much as like the bond you have. Like you and T on the couch, you guys cuddle together. What kinds of stuff do you do outside of conformation, like when you're just hanging out with him at the house? Do you guys have some things you like to do?
Play outside?
Yeah. Does he do any frisbee or no?
No.
Disc. We call it disc. We don't say the F word anymore. I said I wasn't swearing. It's only disc now moving forward. But you just play outside with whatever. You just run around and have fun.
Yep.
How do your friends feel about all this dog stuff?
What do your friends think? I think you're famous.
Yes.
Your friends think you're famous?
Yes.
That's kind of stressful to have to be famous for your friends.
My friends always say you have to be rich if you want to be famous.
Well, those don't always come hand in hand, but maybe one day you will be. Most importantly, we just want you to enjoy the journey right now at this point. And you guys have quite a few dogs there. Your mom breeds and everything too. So tell me a little bit about that, like raising puppies, having dogs around. Tell me a little bit about your life and what that looks like. I mean, I assume, did you guys have dogs when Harper was born?
Yes.
Okay. So they're Ben dogs.
When Harper was 2.5, she actually broke her leg. She had a pretty bad fracture of her tib fib and had to be in a full leg cast right when she started walking. And conveniently, we had a litter of puppies at the same time, and we would just put her in the whelping box to cuddle with the puppies, and she would be very entertained by that.
That's perfect.
She's been involved with dogs ever since she went to her first agility competition when she was 3 months old.
That's so funny. That is crazy.
Looks like that leg healed up nice because no problem running around.
Yeah. Do you have any problems with the leg now, or it's fine?
It's fine.
Yeah, you look good. You move really well. You move awesome. So most people hate the dressing up part of conformation. What other stuff about it do you enjoy? I mean, obviously now you can look at a dog and see if it's stacked properly and everything else. What do you like when you look at the sport and you're competing in it?
Do you like the other people on grooming? Grooming and brushing the dogs.
Oh, grooming. People don't like that either. See, you like all the things that everyone hates about conformation, dressing up and brushing them. So do you do a lot of the grooming yourself?
Yes.
That's amazing. And do you learn about that in Christy's class as well?
No.
No. That's a mom one. That's mom's lessons.
Yeah.
Do the Aussies need specific like cuts and everything for the ring? Do you need to like do any trimming?
Just minor trimming.
Okay.
We haven't tested her with the scissors yet, but
No. So mostly it's just like actual brushing and everything else. And you do that multiple times a day, even at a competition, right? Like we want that coat looking as shiny and beautiful as possible to be getting the results you're getting.
Yep, weekly baths.
Do you do the baths also?
You help give
Yeah.
baths.
Yeah. It's nice to have a backup. All right, we're going to go to break super quick. And when we get back, we're going to talk more about Harper and T.
My name is Christy Shaw, and I'm Harper's conformation trainer. And she has a lovely Australian Shepherd named T that she uses in the juniors. And one of the nicest things about T is what a patient dog he is. He has the ability to go round and round, over and over and over, so that Harper can practice. What sets Harper apart as a junior handler is a tremendous love for the dogs. However, I think that all of the juniors love the dogs, but Harper's love is able to transfer down the lead to the dog. She's very soft, she's kind, she's gentle. Her love comes through that lead, and she can handle any dog. She handles my beachless for me, and the one that she loves the best is the most difficult one to handle. But Starlight absolutely adores Harper. I think it's a natural gift, but I also think that it's one that is developed to a certain extent through the amount of time and patience that she has with the dogs.
Hi, I'm Aaliyah. I just wanted to say congrats, Harper and T, for all your hard work. You guys are turning out to be a really great team. I love to see you guys cuddle in the ring. It's so cute. I can't wait to see what's next. Go Team Harper!
Hi, my name is Caitlin, and this is my dog, Kite. We just wanted to send a congratulations to Harper and T for all of their hard work this year. Congratulations, guys.
Congratulations, Harper!
Congratulations, Harper and T. You guys are such an amazing team, and I am so proud to know you guys. So keep it up, and y'all are awesome.
Hi, I'm Harper's Mimi. Go Harper, go T. You do such a great job.
I am here with Kino to congratulate Harper and T on all of their successes. They are such an incredible team, and I am so excited to see where Harper's dog sport journey takes.
Okay, all right, we're back from break. So I want to talk to you guys because we're just ending 2023 here. Going into 2024, what kind of plans do you guys have? What's on the docket for as we head into the next year for Harper, for T, for everything going on in your lives?
So Harper will be officially competitive for junior handlers in June of this year. So she'll be able to do her first competitive ASCA shows. Our first one's in August, and then our first competitive show of the year is going to be towards the end of January, and her and T are signed up for that, along with Australian Shepherd Nationals.
Wow, you got a lot of stuff going on. That's a lot. So when you're competing against juniors, I assume since you're one of the more advanced juniors in the country, maybe some of those other juniors might not have the same control of their dogs that the adults have. So do you find it more stressful sometimes when you're competing against the juniors? Yeah, I can imagine.
It's probably their first time for most of them.
For some of them,
You're coming in like a veteran now.
Yeah. Do the other juniors get really nervous? Sometimes, yeah, you got to like show them the ropes and help them through. So how do you balance dogs and school and that whole situation? Like, I feel like you have a lot going on in your life. Do you feel like you're, doing school and then dogs on the weekend and then back to school? Is it too much or it seems easy?
Too much.
Let's just wait. If we had to get rid of school or dogs, which one would we get rid of?
School.
There you go. That's the answer. You're right on the journey. So, have you had any events yet where you've had to miss a day of school, like a Friday because of a 3-day event or anything yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes you get out of the
pluses.
school. Yeah. Sometimes you get out of the school sitch. Well, school will be there for a few more years. I hate to tell you, but it gives you a good basis and it gives you good full-rounded experiences. Because if you just get sucked into the crazy dog world, then you just become a crazy dog person super early on. But it seems like your hook line.
That's already happening.
It seems like your hook, line, and sinker with the dogs. So tell us a little bit about the puppies, because I know you guys are still breeding. So when you have a litter of puppies, is that fun for you, Harper? Like, do you interact with the puppies? Yeah. What's your favorite litter? Do you like the Moody's or the Aussies? What do you like? Moody's, yeah. They got some character. They're strong. And they probably have quite a bit of drive when they're young, right? I mean, they like want to play with stuff and tug on your pants and everything.
Yeah.
So do you do that kind of stuff with them? You like introduce toys and help them with that kind of stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
We just throw her out in the yard with the puppies, and then they all come in 20 minutes later exhausted.
See, now this is the difference between having a Malinois litter of puppies or a Moody litter of puppies. It might be a little more dangerous if it was a Malinois litter. Do you miss the puppies when they go to their new homes?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you keep in touch with them, I assume. And everybody sends you updates. Yeah. So what do you have for personal dogs? I know that you did some competing with Brayburn and Doc, and you did some conformation with T. Do you yourself have any other personal dogs that you're handling or working on in different sports?
Puffin.
Who?
Puffin, my dog.
Puffin?
Moody.
Okay. Oh, and a Moody. Okay, see, we got all that. Now I see where the Moody love comes in. So what do you and Puffin do?
Conformation.
Conformation also. And Moody's probably, are they as popular in conformation as Aussies? I assume not.
No, we work very hard to get points. So points are determined off of how many dogs you beat at a show.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot in our area.
Yeah.
Right.
That's when you're going to have to start getting on the road and traveling for the Moody conformation shows. What about disc? Who are you playing disc with, or what do you do with disc?
Poker.
Okay. Poker?
Tell her who Poker is.
Poker's our friend's dog.
What kind of breed is Poker?
Aussie.
No, he's border collie.
He's a border collie. So he's got some drive. So do you have fun when you're doing the disc stuff? Is it fun for you? Do you learn like about the different throws and all that?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw you too. Was it the Japanese junior handlers that came in? Who were you hanging out with at some of these local competitions? Was it a Japanese person? Was it a Japanese competitor? Yeah.
He was Chinese.
Okay, he was Chinese.
What was his name?
No.
Yeah, so you have like friends now from all over the world that are doing similar dog sports to you. It's really interesting and exciting.
Now you get a connection in China next time you want to shoot over there for a competition.
Yeah, exactly. You can start your international travel. So for you, Harper, when you look at your life, I don't really want to be like, what do you want to be when you grow up? But do you see yourself doing dogs, like moving forward? Like, does this seem like a path that you enjoy?
Yes.
Okay. And you would like to focus where most? Conformation?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't really have any restrictions on what breeds that you'll handle. Like you've handled a myriad of breeds so far. You handle a lot of different dogs.
Someone asked her to handle a deer hound, and I said that might be a little too tall for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get her doing like the corgis and stuff because she has a good back and she's close to the ground, so it's easier.
Yeah.
That's always.
Well, it's harder for her to pick up the dogs and put them on the table because she's just a little too short.
That's true. That's true.
Those corgis are heavy too.
We're in the corgis. They may be aggressive too. Talk about wild dogs to handle. Okay, so as far as breeds go, I know you've handled about 20 dogs, but you've probably done like 7 breeds or so at this point too. I mean, you have a pretty good breed variety, right?
Yep.
What's the hardest breed that you've handled so far?
The Chinese crested.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're pretty small. What was so difficult about that?
I couldn't stack them.
You
Couldn't stack them?
I couldn't stack them.
You just really wiggly? You're moving around a lot?
Yeah.
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 It just kept spinning in circles and spinning in circles.
Yeah, they have a mind of their own, those Chinese cresteds. So owning dogs into the future, what breeds would you like to own most? Obviously, you're going to live with mom and dad for a while, but what are your breeds that you hope to own as you become an old lady like me?
Husky.
Huskies?
There you go.
Oh my gosh, you're getting crazy influence.
Yeah, I don't know where she got this husky idea.
Have
but
fun with the grooming.
telling her no.
They are cute, but they're a lot. There could be some sled dogging with the huskies. What about the dogs you currently have? What's your favorite breed of the dogs you currently have that you would want to own later on?
Dalmatian.
Dalmatians? Do you guys have Dalmatians now?
My husband has a token Dalmatian.
Oh, okay.
It's far away from the show ring.
Well, I think Dalmatians are easier than Huskies, but with your experience, I think you'll be able to handle anything here moving forward. So as far as your competition experience and, your friends and your people that support you and everything else, is it a good atmosphere? Like, do you like getting to a show and seeing people that you haven't seen for a while? What is that like for you?
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting because you probably have friends from a lot of different places in the country at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't all live across from Purina Farms, so you don't see them multiple times a month. So it gets exciting when they come in for a special show and everything else. Well, I think you're doing a great job. Taylor, is there anything that we missed as far as T goes? Let's talk about T a little bit as a dog because we're focusing a lot on Harper. And while I love you, it's not kid of the year, it's dog of the year. So tell us a little bit about T and his personality from your perspective and your mom's perspective and everything else.
So T was a pretty spontaneous decision. Frankie was a phenomenal dog for her to start with, but we realized that her skill set was progressing pretty rapidly and that it was just going to hinder her to be stuck in Pee-wee. So we really needed a dog to get her in the breed ring so she could continue to develop those skills. And we had actually gone through about 3 dogs, do a trial, about a week trial to see if they worked well with Harper, if it was going to work well in our house. Before we came to T, and she had tried to handle T when she was probably 6, and he was a little crazy, and she was a little younger. So we went back to Mari and said, hey, can we try him again? She's a lot stronger now. She's a lot stronger handler, and it was phenomenal. I mean, she gated him down and back, and it was like, this is the dog.
Yeah.
And he's just so easygoing, and he loves her, and he is just as happy going around that ring as he is going on a walk around the park.
That's
I mean,
nice.
and you can just see it.
That's nice. What are your favorite parts about T, Harper?
that
He's a good boy.
he's a good boy.
You won't say that about your husky. I'm glad that T's a good boy. I want to show a few more pictures of Harper and T. So can we pull up 4 for me? And when you guys are moving around the ring, what do I call that? Gating? I should have brushed up on my conformation terminology. So this is when they're like doing that circle that you guys saw early on with gating. And then if you could pull up number 1 as well, there's a stacked photo of him. And yeah, he has a beautiful body. He's a beautiful dog. He really shows himself well, but he shows well because you show him well. Are you guys planning on doing any breeding with T?
So he's up for stud. Harper co-owns him with his breeder and with Mari, who we got T from. So that ball's in their court, but they have both told us that if we want a T puppy in the future, if Harper wants a T puppy in the future, that she can definitely get one.
Okay.
Because she's done a lot with him.
That's nice. Yeah, no, you guys have had a phenomenal year and just working together for a year. And he's young. He's only 5. You know, you have easily a decade left with him, hopefully, and probably many years of competition. So are you excited about the 2024 competition season? Do you get excited for the dog show weekends?
Yes.
Yeah. There's always good snacks and there's always good camaraderie at dog shows. And are you showing dogs also, Taylor, when Harper's showing, or you're just basically the mom that's supportive right now?
Yeah, so I show the dogs sometimes, but mostly it's just being the cheerleader for Harper right now.
Which is a very important job.
If you want the dog to get the most points, you have to hand him off
to Harper.
Exactly, 100%. And I don't think Harper realizes, she goes into the herding group and she doesn't realize, what accomplishment that is to just be in the group. Nonetheless, to win, she wins the herding group and I'm bawling and she's just, hugging T thinking it's another trip around the ring.
Yeah, it is. It's a very competitive group. Much as you know, now that you're doing the Moody's, the Aussies, especially the herding group overall, it's really a whole different ballgame. I want to show the picture of you and your mom and your grandma too. That's number 3. Because as we mentioned earlier, the tri dog was Frankie, which was your grandma, your Mimi's dog. And, grandma, I assume, is very supportive of everything you're doing now with T as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does she come to a lot of your shows?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this picture of the 4 of you is just super special. So I wanted to show that as well. And T is on a climb. He's like the poster child for climbs. You guys are big on pushing climbs over there. So if you guys ever see any of those viral posts going around that support Harper and her dogs with the climb platform, make sure you jump on board with that. Taylor, is there any other way that people can support Harper and T? I know that we're going to have the links for the shirts in the description. Obviously, if you ever see it or show, say hi and tell her what a great job she's doing. Any other things that you have, pieces of advice for people being a mom of a junior handler?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just going out of your way to just even say hi to the junior handlers because, they're put in this weird environment where they're surrounded by adults. And I love the adult handlers in the ring, but they can be very serious and very focused.
Yeah.
So for an 8-year-old that's very used to being in school and having that sort of atmosphere, it can be very intimidating. So just the handlers even saying hi to her, she's had handlers ask if she needs help with anything, and that just goes so far, something so small for a kid, and she really appreciates those things. And any junior handler at any competition, just going out of your way and saying hi to them and asking them about their dog really means a lot to them.
Yeah.
Probably the handlers that don't say hi to Harper are very intimidated by her. They're like, oh no, she's back.
She's going to take the ribbon.
She's going to win. Yeah, she's going to win the class. All right. Well, I'm really excited that we were able to showcase you and T. Anything else, Harper, that we missed that you want to say about T or competing or anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well, congratulations. I'm really glad that we had you on. I'm honored we had you on. We've had a big list of people on. We've had Petra Ford and her dog. We had Perry and Jess and their agility dogs. We had a competitive IGP guy on last year with his dog. So I was really excited to highlight not only a different sport, conformation this time, and a different breed, an Australian Shepherd, but a junior handler. I think it's so important that we embrace the community of junior handlers. And things have made such a change over the past 30 years in dogs dogs. You know, when I got into dogs, I was like the only kid out there, and now you're one of many. But you guys are shaping the future of dogs. So it's really important that we support you guys and that we cheer you guys on and that we showcase you guys. So thanks for being on our podcast for Dog of the Year and Junior Handler.
It was a pleasure to have you.
Yeah. Yeah, and we did have my 4-year-old godson on to squeak the pig one time, but I promise you beyond that, you're our youngest guest in our history of the podcast ever. So thank you so much for coming on and agreeing to come on, and we wish you guys all the success in 2024. Okay?
Thank you so much.
All right,
Thank
good
you.
job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We gotta squeak the pig. All right, we always end our show with Keep It Quirky. So you guys, thank you so much for all of you who joined us all of 2023. We got through another year. We're moving into 2024. We have been doing this a lot of years now.
Seems like it.
All right, have a happy new year. Be super safe. And in the meantime, keep it quirky. Bye, guys. Thanks so much, Harper.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.